We've lost 40 more Hoosiers to COVID. Those deaths occurred between December 31st and yesterday. The statewide total is more than 8,800 deaths since the middle of March. That's 8,800 families who have watched as their loved ones lost the battle to this devastating virus. We want to remember and pay tribute to those who have lost their lives to COVID-19. We're sharing stories about who they were and the legacies they leave behind. Today, our Alyssa Donovan shares the story of Ralph Rutan.
My daddy was proud of everything that he built.
Especially the home he shared with his late wife.
Everything that my mama ever wanted, it had to be red and white.
Including the house, which is filled with photos of the happy life Ralph and Catherine Rutan built together.
They were married 58 years. And she made sure to put up pictures everywhere. Mom and Dad, my brother and sister.
Ralph was a religious man who enjoyed gospel music, playing guitar, and studying the Bible.
He would sit there, and if you would ask about, how did God create, or tithing, or anything like that, Dad would automatically pull out his book and say, well, here's the scripture.
Christopher Rutan, their youngest son, now lives in the Columbus home, along with his father's dog, Fred.
I've taken ownership of him. He's still going to get fat and sassy. One chicken? I think it's still hard on him to realize Dad is gone. There you go. There's a big void.
Ralph died of COVID-19 on December 28th, just one day after his 79th birthday. Rutan says his father had COVID-19 2 times. In July, he tested positive for the virus and recovered. But when he fell ill in November, it was more serious.
And that's where the horror story began. My dad continued to go downhill.
After weeks in the intensive care unit, Ralph was well enough to return home, just in time to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with his family.
And I think that's the last thing he really wanted to do, was see his family.
But the day after, something wasn't right, so Rutan brought him back to the hospital.
And they said he has pneumonia.
Ralph suffered a stroke and died the next day. The loss, devastating.
I watched my daddy die. I watched him take his last breath.
But Rutan finds comfort when he steps out onto the porch, because just across the street from their beloved home, his parents' final resting place.
They're in lot number 91. They're right by the tree.
Well, at least the one on Earth.
I knew my mom went to heaven, I knew he went to heaven, and I knew they were together, and that's what he wanted.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
Thousands of Hoosiers have died since the coronavirus pandemic began, and we are asking for your help to put names and faces to numbers. If you've lost someone close to you, connect with us. We want to share their story so that those taken from us are never forgotten. You can reach us at facesofcovid@wrtv.com.